I'm going to tell you something that will probably upset you. I'm 102 years old, and I've spent 53 years as a physician watching people die. Not in wars or accidents, in hospital beds and nursing homes and their own living rooms. Slow deaths, preventable deaths, deaths that didn't have to happen when they did. I signed 4,000 death certificates over my career. 4,000 families sitting across from me in sterile rooms, asking me why. And here's the part that haunts me even now. Most of those people killed themselves, not with guns or pills, with choices, daily choices they made for decades, without realizing they were digging their own graves one decision at a time. My name is Dr. Richard Ashford. I graduated medical school in 1951 and practiced family medicine in the same Pennsylvania office for 53 years. Same desk, same patients. And I watched them make choices. And I watched those choices kill them. I'm not making this video to brag about my age. I'm making it because I'm running out of time to tell you what I learned. And if even one person hears this and changes course, then maybe all those deaths meant something. Let me start with the first pattern I identified in 1972. The office workers were dying younger, not by a little, by a lot. Accountants, secretaries, bank managers, people who sat at desks all day. They were having heart attacks at 65 while the construction workers and farmers were making it to 80. I had a patient named Frank, insurance adjuster, 58 years old. His blood work was terrible. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar. I asked him about his daily routine. He sat in his car for 40 minutes, sat at his desk until lunch, sat through lunch, sat at his desk until 5, sat in his car going home, sat through dinner, sat watching television until bed. I told him he needed to move more. He said he didn't have time. Frank died at 64, heart attack at his desk. Here's what happens when you sit all day. Your circulation slows, blood pools in your legs, your lymphatic system stops working, waste products build up, your muscles atrophy, your metabolism drops, and after 60, this process accelerates like a car rolling downhill. I started tracking this in the late 70s. By 1985, I had enough data to know that my sedentary patients were aging internally about 40% faster than those who stayed active. The medical establishment didn't catch up until the 2000s, but I'd been watching it kill people for 30 years by then. And here's the cruel irony. I had patients who exercised every morning, spent an hour on the treadmill, then sat for the next 11 hours straight. The morning exercise didn't save them. I had a patient, a retired principal named Dorothy, who walked 3 miles every single morning. Then she'd sit in a recliner reading until bedtime. She made it to 73 before the stroke, spent her last 2 years in a nursing home, unable to speak. The solution isn't complicated. Move every hour, stand up, walk to another room, stretch, just 2 or 3 minutes. I started doing this in 1974. I set a kitchen timer on my desk. Every 50 minutes it would ring and I'd get up. I'm 102 years old and I still do this every day. The second pattern was sleep, not just the amount, the quality. I cannot tell you how many patients told me with pride that they only needed 5 hours, like it was a badge of honor. It meant they were slowly destroying their brains. Your brain cleans itself while you sleep. There's a system that activates during deep sleep and flushes out metabolic waste. proteins that build up during the day, toxins, the stuff that leads to cognitive decline and dementia. But this only works if you sleep deeply for 7 to 9 hours. I started paying attention to my patients' sleep habits in the early 80s. The patients who slept poorly developed memory problems earlier, sometimes a full decade earlier than those who slept well. I had a patient named Arthur, brilliant engineer. He'd brag about getting by on 5 hours. By 72, he couldn't remember conversations from the week before. By 75, he couldn't remember his grandchildren's names. By 78, he didn't recognize his own wife. He died at 81, his mind completely gone years before his body gave out. And broken sleep is worse than short sleep. You can be in bed for 8 hours. But if you're waking up 4 or 5 times per night, you're not getting the deep restorative sleep you need. If you're sleeping 8 hours and still waking up exhausted, something is wrong. Fix it, because every night of poor sleep is another night your brain isn't cleaning itself. I changed my own sleep habits at 68, started going to bed at 10, kept my room dark and cool, no television, no reading in bed. Within 3 months, I felt sharper. My memory improved. I'm 102, and I still sleep 7.5 hours every night. The third thing that kills people after 60 is loneliness, and I know that sounds soft, but loneliness is as deadly as smoking. I watched it kill hundreds of my patients. When you're chronically lonely, your body interprets it as a threat. Your stress response activates. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your immune system weakens. Your inflammation rises. You're in a constant state of low-level panic, and it destroys you from the inside out. I had patients who were otherwise healthy, no diabetes, no heart disease, but they lived alone with no meaningful connections, and they deteriorated faster than patients with serious chronic illnesses who had strong social bonds. I had a patient named Margaret. She lost her husband at 69. After he died, she withdrew, stopped going to church, stopped calling friends. She said she didn't want to be a burden. Within 2 years, severe depression. Within 5 years, a stroke. She lived another 3 years, but she wasn't really living. She was existing, and I'm convinced the loneliness killed her. After 60, when spouses die and friends start disappearing, you have to fight isolation actively. Join something, call people, have real conversations. Your life depends on it. I'm 102. I live alone. My wife died 8 years ago. Most of my friends are gone. But I talk to people every single day. I call my grandchildren. I have lunch with former colleagues. I volunteer at the library on Tuesdays. I'm intentional about it, because I know what happens if I'm not. The fourth pattern involves food, and this one makes me angry, because my profession got it wrong for 40 years, and we killed people with our advice. We told people to eat low-fat everything. We said whole grains were healthy. We pushed orange juice and skim milk and low-fat yogurt loaded with sugar. And we created a generation of seniors with diabetes and inflammation. I followed the guidelines myself for years. Low-fat diet, lots of carbohydrates, whole wheat bread, pasta, rice. But by 65, my blood work was terrible. My triglycerides were sky high. My blood sugar was creeping up. I was developing insulin resistance. Here's what happens after 60. Your metabolism changes. Your insulin sensitivity decreases. Foods that were fine at 40 become inflammatory at 70. Toast and jam for breakfast? You might as well inject sugar directly into your veins. I changed my diet at 65, cut out most processed carbohydrates, no more bread, no pasta, no cereal. I increased healthy fats, olive oil, avocados, nuts, fatty fish, vegetables, and protein, real food. Within 3 months, my blood work completely transformed. My triglycerides dropped by half. My blood sugar normalized. My inflammatory markers plummeted. I felt better than I had in 20 years. I started recommending the same changes to my patients. Some listened, most didn't. Many of them are dead now. I'm 102, and I eat bacon and eggs for breakfast almost every morning. Real butter, full-fat everything, barely any sugar or refined carbs, and my blood work is better than most 60-year-olds. The fifth thing that kills people is chronic worry. Constant anxiety keeps your stress hormones elevated in a way that damages every system in your body. I had patients who were retired, financially comfortable, surrounded by loving families, and they spent hours every day worrying about things they couldn't control, and their bodies paid the price. They aged faster. They slept worse. They got sick more often. Learning to let go of what you can't control isn't just good psychology, it's survival. Now let me tell you about my wife. Her name was Eleanor. We were married for 61 years. She died 8 years ago at 94, and she did everything wrong, everything I'm telling you not to do. Eleanor sat constantly. Bad knees starting in her 60s. She'd sit in her chair reading or watching television for hours. I'd tell her to get up and move. She'd wave me off. So she sat. And her circulation got worse, and her muscles atrophied, and she got weaker. She slept terribly, woke up 3 or 4 times a night, refused to see a sleep specialist. Said it was just part of getting old. It wasn't. It was killing her brain slowly. She ate the way her mother taught her. Lots of bread, lots of sweets, low-fat everything, toast and jam for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, pasta for dinner. Her blood sugar was out of control for the last 20 years of her life. And she worried about our children, about our grandchildren, about money even though we had plenty. She worried herself into knots every single day. I tried to get her to change. For years I tried, but she wouldn't listen. She said she was too old to change. She said her habits were set. She died at 94. You might think that's a good long life, but I watched her decline for the last 15 years. I watched her lose her mobility. I watched her mind get foggy. I watched her independence slip away piece by piece. Those last years weren't a gift. They were a slow diminishment. She could have had another decade of real life, active, sharp, independent. But she chose not to change. And I had to watch the woman I loved disappear while she was still breathing. I'm 102 years old. I live alone in the same house Eleanor and I shared. I cook my own meals. I do my own grocery shopping. I walk every single day. I read. I call my grandchildren and actually remember the conversations. I sleep 7.5 hours every night. I manage my own finances. I'm not special. I'm not lucky. I made choices every single day for the last 40 years. I made choices. And those choices are why I'm still here and why I'm still actually living instead of just existing. You're making choices right now. Today, this morning, what you're eating, whether you're moving, how you're sleeping, who you're connecting with, what you're worrying about. And I'm telling you, from 53 years of watching people die, that those choices matter more than you want to believe. You don't have to change everything at once. Pick one thing, just one. Fix the sitting. Get up every hour. Fix the sleep. Go to bed earlier. See a doctor if you're waking up exhausted. Fix the isolation. Call someone today. Join something this week. Fix the food. Cut out the processed carbs. Fix the worry. Let go of one thing you can't control. Pick one. Fix it. The others become easier. I've buried 2 of my 3 children. I buried my wife. I've buried 4,000 patients. I'm still here, and I'm telling you that most of the people I buried didn't have to go when they did. They had more time, but they made choices that took that time away. You're still here too. You're watching this right now. You have time, but not unlimited time, not as much as you think. What are you going to do about it? Because I promise you, one day you'll be lying in a hospital bed and you'll wish you'd started making better choices today. Don't wait until then. Start now. Pick one thing and change it. Your future self is depending on you. If this resonated with you, share it. Leave a comment and tell me which one thing you're going to change. Hit subscribe because I've got more truth to share. And at 102, I don't have the luxury of holding back. The clock is ticking for all of us. What are you going to do with the time you have left?